Is he the best player in the NBA right now?
Yes, he is. Dwyane Wade is the closest thing we have to Michael Jordan in his ability to impact, to explode on a game.
Before the championships and the finals MVP, Dwyane Wade was just another overlooked guard from the south side of Chicago. Raised in Robbins, Illinois, in a broken home surrounded by chaos, Wade found one thing he could control: his work ethic. Basketball wasn't just a game, it was survival. He didn't come up through the elite AAU circuits or dominate national rankings. He didn't even play his freshman year at Marquette due to academic issues. But once he hit the court, it was clear Wade had that something, that edge. In 2003, he put Marquette back on the map against Kentucky to reach the Final Four. NBA scouts couldn't ignore him anymore. And in one of the most stacked drafts in history, LeBron, Melo, Bosh, it was Wade who slipped to fifth.
With the fifth pick in the 2003 NBA draft, the Miami Heat select Dwyane Wade from Marquette University.
The Miami Heat took a chance. It didn't take long to realize it was the right one. Wade came into the league with no fear. He averaged over 16 points as a rookie and led the Heat to the playoffs. In his very first postseason game, he spun past defenders and hit a buzzer beater to win it. And just like that, the league knew this kid was different. By the end of his rookie year, he wasn't just a promising young guard, he was the future of the franchise. Miami had found its star. Wade's second season changed everything. The Heat went all in, trading for Shaq, a three-time champion still in his prime. The moment they met, Shaq knew what Miami had. He gave Wade a nickname that stuck for life: Flash. With Shaq dominating the paint and Wade slicing through defenders, Miami became a serious contender. Wade took a leap, averaging 24 points and 7 assists, making his first All-Star appearance and turning heads across the league. But it was the playoffs where he truly arrived. In the 2005 postseason, Wade put on a show: acrobat finishes, clutch pull-ups, chase down blocks, all at just 6'4". Against the Wizards, he dropped 42 in Game 2. Then came the defending champion, Pistons. In Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Wade lit up Detroit for 40 points, carving up one of the league's toughest defenses. For the series, he averaged nearly 27 points a game, despite battling through a rib injury late. Miami lost in 7, but nobody questioned who the real star was. He wasn't just athletic, he was fearless. He had a killer instinct that showed up in every big moment. By the end of year 2, he wasn't just a rising star, he was a top 5 player in the NBA. And the scariest thing, he wasn't just getting started. By year 3, Wade wasn't just good, he was unstoppable. The Heat reloaded, stayed healthy, and returned to the Eastern Conference Finals, once again facing the Pistons. This time, D-Wade didn't let it slip. He dropped over 26 a game in the series and sent Detroit home in 6. Miami was going to the NBA Finals for the first time, and what came next? One of the greatest finals performances in NBA history. The Heat fell behind 0-2 to the Dallas Mavericks. Their season was hanging by a thread, and then Wade flipped the switch. Game 3, down 13 in the fourth quarter, Wade dropped 42 points and 13 rebounds, carrying Miami to a comeback win. Game 4, 36 points. Game 5, a legendary 43-point performance, including 2 clutch free throws to win it in overtime, part of an insane 25 free throw attempts. Game 6, 36 more to close it out. Over the final 4 games, he averaged 39.3 points, shooting 50%, and living at the free throw line. The Mavs had no answer. He wasn't flopping. He was attacking with surgical precision and absorbing contact like a linebacker. For the series, he averaged 34.7 points, 7.8 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 2.7 steals. His player efficiency rating, the highest in finals history at the time, better than Jordan, better than Shaq, better than anyone. At 24 years old, in just his third NBA season, Dwyane Wade had dragged Miami out of a 2-0 hole and delivered the franchise its first championship. And he didn't just win, he dominated. Finals MVP, top of the basketball world, Wade wasn't the future anymore, he was the present. Wade had just reached the mountaintop, Finals MVP. A ring at 24, the league's respect, but success came with a price. The 2006 season started strong. Wade was putting up MVP numbers, 27 points, 7.5 assists, 4.7 rebounds. But in February, everything changed. A freak accident dislocated his left shoulder. He left the court in a wheelchair, his face buried in a towel. Most stars would have shut it down. Wade didn't. He rehabbed through the pain and came back for the playoffs, barely able to lift his arm. But even he couldn't save Miami. The defending champs were swept in the first round. The next season it got worse. Knee problems slowed him all year. Miami collapsed to a league worst 15-67. The team that had just lifted a trophy was now a lottery team. And Wade? He looked human, battered, slower, less explosive. Critics started asking the question, did Dwyane Wade peak too early? He was only 26, but had already undergone 2 major surgeries. His fearless style, diving into contact, landing on hardwood like a crash dummy, was catching up to him. And for the first time in his life, people started to doubt him. But Wade never stopped working. Behind the scenes, he rebuilt his body. He retooled his game. And when the opportunity came to represent Team USA in the 2008 Olympics, he didn't just accept. He made a statement. He wasn't finished. He was just getting ready to remind the world who he was. By 2008, Dwyane Wade had a ring. But he didn't have answers. 2 surgeries, a bottomed-out team, and a league that was ready to move on to LeBron and Kobe. The Olympics were supposed to be a showcase for the stars, but Wade turned it into a comeback tour. He came off the bench for Team USA surrounded by names like LeBron, Kobe, Melo, and CP3. And yet he led the team in scoring, averaging 16 points per game on 67% shooting. No rust, no hesitation, just flash. Back in full form. In the gold medal game against Spain, he was the best player on the floor. 27 points, 4 steals, 2 threes in the first 5 minutes, and clutch plays down the stretch to seal the win. Even with a reduced role, he made the biggest impact, outshining MVPs, setting the tone, and reminding everyone that when it came to winning on the biggest stage, Dwyane Wade was still that guy. The USA got their gold, Wade got his redemption, and when he returned to Miami, he didn't slow down, he turned it up. By 2010, Wade had done it all, except win again. He had the ring, the numbers, the respect, but he was tired of carrying teams by himself. So that summer, Wade made a power move that changed the NBA forever. He stayed in Miami and brought help with him. LeBron James, Chris Bosh, 3 superstars, 1 team, built from friendship, loyalty, and a desire to win at all costs. The Heat instantly became the most hyped and hated team in the league. At their welcome rally, LeBron famously promised,
Not 2.
LeBron, tell us about that.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. Hey.
Wade didn't say much. He knew all that mattered was backing it up. But 1 year wasn't smooth. The Heat stumbled out of the gate, roles were unclear, chemistry took time, then came the 2011 NBA Finals. Miami was up 2-1 on the Dallas Mavericks, and through 3 games, Wade was the best player on the floor. 27 points per game, clutch shots, big-time plays. He was on pace for a second Finals MVP. But the Heat collapsed. Dallas took the next 3 games. LeBron disappeared and the backlash was brutal. After the series, Wade could have pointed fingers. Instead, he made a decision only true leaders make. He pulled LeBron aside and told him, "This is your team now." Not out of weakness, but out of understanding. Wade realized that for Miami to reach its ceiling, LeBron had to take over. He stepped back, so the Heat could finally step forward. It was one of the most selfless acts by a superstar in NBA history, and it changed everything. The critics were loud, the pressure was massive, and after the 2011 collapse, the Big Three had no margin for error. But in 2012, Miami came back smarter, tougher, more connected, and at the heart of it all, still Dwyane Wade. He wasn't the number 1 option anymore, but he didn't need to be. Wade focused on defense, leadership, timely buckets, and when the playoffs got gritty, he showed flashes of his old self. In the second round against Indiana, the Heat were down 2-1. Wade had just scored 5 points in Game 3. People were calling him washed. Game 4, 30 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Game 6, 41 points, dominant, unstoppable, vintage. That series saved Miami's season. And it was Wade who lit the fire. Then came the NBA Finals against a young and hungry OKC team. Durant, Westbrook, and Harden. LeBron was the MVP, but Wade was the anchor. 22.6 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists per game. Clutch mid-range jumpers. defensive rotations, fast break finishes, and when it mattered most, Wade knew how to close. In Game 5, the title clincher, he had 20 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks, a complete performance that put the Heat back on top. Miami were champions again. Wade had his second ring, but this one was different. It wasn't just redemption for 2011. It was proof that leadership doesn't always mean being the guy. Sometimes it means empowering others to be their best. By 2013, the Heat were a machine. LeBron was in peak form. Miami won 27 straight games, the second longest streak in NBA history. But behind the highlight reel, Wade was hurting. A bone bruise to his knee snapped his lift. He sat out games to preserve his body. Critics started whispering again. Wade didn't respond with words. He saved it for the finals. Miami faced the San Antonio Spurs, Duncan, Parker, Ginobili, and Popovich. The ultimate test. Through 3 games, Wade struggled. The Heat were down 2-1. The dynasty was wobbling. Then came Game 4. Wade turned back the clock. 32 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 steals. Flying around on defense, attacking the rim, Euros stepping through traffic. Even LeBron said afterward, that was flash tonight. Game 6 was Ray Allen's moment, but Wade played his part. 14 points, 4 steals, and crucial defense down the stretch. Game 7, a legacy game. Wade dropped 23 points and 10 rebounds, hitting clutch shots and out-dueling Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green. One possession at a time, one big play after another. When the buzzer sounded, Miami had gone back-to-back. Wade had his third ring, but it wasn't just about numbers anymore. It was about sacrifice, pain tolerance, championship DNA. Pat Riley said it best.
But as the greatest player ever in Miami Heat history.
And now, he was one of the greatest winners of his era. After 3 rings and 4 straight finals, the toll on Wade's body was real. The 2014 finals, Miami ran out of gas. San Antonio dismantled them in 5 games. Wade's knees were worn down. He averaged just 15 points per game in the series. A shell of his former self. Then the bombshell.
LeBron James picks Cleveland. The decision made, the explanation simple enough. There it is. James' Instagram post, I'm coming home.
Wade was 32, beat up, and suddenly back where he started, carrying Miami alone. But he didn't fade. He evolved. He posted more, became a mid-range assassin, picked his spots, led Miami in scoring, mentored young guys like Hassan Whiteside and Justice Winslow, and in the 2016 playoffs, he showed there was still fire in the tank. In Game 6 against Charlotte, Wade hit 2 clutch threes, his first 2 threes of the entire season, then dropped 30 points to force Game 7. It was vintage Flash, right when they needed him most. But behind the scenes, tension brewed. After a contract dispute with the front office, Wade did the unthinkable. He left Miami. He signed with the Chicago Bulls. It was his hometown, but it didn't feel like home. He still put up numbers, 18.3 points per game, but something was off. He wasn't supposed to wear anything but a Heat jersey. Then came a brief reunion with LeBron in Cleveland, but it was short-lived, awkward, and forgettable. He needed one last chapter, one more dance. In 2018, Wade came home. At the trade deadline, Miami brought him back, and the city lit up like it was 2006. He wasn't the same player, but he didn't need to be. He was Dwyane Wade, the legend, and it was time for one last dance. He announced his final season before it began. Every road trip turned into a farewell tour. Every arena, even longtime rivals, gave him standing ovations. Opponents lined up after games just to swap jerseys. From rookies who grew up watching him to stars like LeBron, CP3, and Melo, they all knew this was a goodbye to one of the game's most respected icons. And Wade, he still had some magic left. In February, he banked in a ridiculous buzzer beater to beat the Warriors, a shot he called the craziest of his career. He dropped 30 points in his final home game, climbed onto the scorer's table, and said thank you to the city that raised him. And in his very last NBA game, 25 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. A triple-double, the perfect ending. Sitting courtside where LeBron, Melo, and CP3, his closest friends, they cheered like fans. But that's what they were. Everyone in the building was. Miami retired his number 3 jersey soon after, and in his speech, Wade quoted Kobe.
Kobe said the most important thing is to try to inspire others so they can be great in whatever they choose to do. I hope I've inspired all of you.
Dwyane Wade didn't just leave a mark on basketball. He left fingerprints on an entire generation. He retired as a 3-time NBA champion, Finals MVP, 13th-time All-Star, 8-time All-NBA, 2009 scoring champion, Olympic gold medalist. Over 23,000 career points, 5,000 plus assists, and the most blocks ever by a guard. He's the Miami Heat's all-time leader in nearly every major category. And still, stats can't measure what Wade meant. He made it okay to be fearless at 6'4". He made chase-down blocks and Euro steps part of the game. He played through pain, sacrificed for teammates, and won on his own terms. But what truly set him apart? Leadership, loyalty, humanity. He passed up stats for rings. He recruited stars, then stepped aside to let them lead. He mentored teammates, lifted cities, and spoke out for what mattered. He created the Wade's World Foundation, gave back to South Florida and Chicago, and helped shape what it means to be a modern athlete. And when he walked into the Hall of Fame in 2023, first ballot alongside Dirk and Pau, he didn't walk in alone. He brought his father on stage.
I love you, and I'm thankful for you. I love you too, man. We in the Hall of Fame, dog.
So how good was Dwyane Wade actually? Good enough to win young, good enough to evolve, good enough to inspire. He wasn't loud, he wasn't built like a tank, but he had heart, skill, and a killer instinct that came alive when it mattered most. He was the soul of a franchise, a champion in every sense, a blueprint for greatness, on and off the court. Dwyane Wade was more than flash. He was forever.